4, 3.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. George Camel, Ramsey personality, host of The Fine Print and the Entree Leadership Podcast, is my co-host today as we talk about your relationships, your boundaries, your mental health, your job, your career, your money, your life. It's all right here. It's called The Ramsey Show. We're going to talk about you right in front of you. The phone number is 888-825-5225. The call is free, and some say the advice is worth exactly what you pay for it. Kyle is with us to start off this hour in Davenport, Iowa. Hi, Kyle. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve, man. What's up?
Yeah, I had a question. I'm a union member, and I recently re-signed a contract, and they're giving us a one-time choice of, we currently are offered a 401k and a pension, and they're giving us a choice to freeze the pension for an increased match in the 401k. And I was just wondering your thoughts on that.
Interesting. Well, I mean, we would just try to figure out the math on it, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
So what is the increase in the 401k match?
So it's based on their return on assets per year, which 8 out of the last 12 years, it would be dollar for dollar match up to 6%, which I currently get 60 cents per dollar.
Okay, so it's a 40% increase. All right, so 2%. And what's your household? What do you make? What do you make with this job?
About 90.
Okay, so here's the deal: 40% of 6% would be 2.4%. You follow me?
Okay.
That's the increase. That's the increase. So 2.4% of 90,000. We're going to round that up and call it $2,500.
Okay.
Okay, 2.5% of 100,000 would be that. So we're just going to round it for easy math. Okay, so the benefit is $2,500. That's what you're going to get on a good year, 8 out of 10 years, 8 out of 12 years, or whatever. So then, what are you giving up for $2,500 a year?
The pension increases $48 per year of service.
$48 per year of what?
Of service.
So every 2 years it goes up by $100?
Just about, yeah.
And that's the amount going in, or the amount going in per month, or the amount coming out?
That's per year.
Going in?
Correct. To the pension, yeah.
So they will either add $48, or they will add $2,500.
Correct.
Well, that's kind of easy.
Yeah. And then they would freeze it at my current. I have 11 years in already. So
yeah, you're not going to get the increases. That's what you're giving up.
Correct.
Well, there's a cumulative effect of the increases mathematically, though, because it'd be 48, and then it'd be 48, and then it'd be 48. So every year it's 150 after 3 years.
Yes. And
how old are you?
34.
Okay, so if you work 20 years, yeah, it's still not going to be there. Still not going to be to $2,500.
Correct.
Per year.
And there's also one small other piece to this is they put into a retirement fund. Mm-hmm. They put in currently, if I kept the pension and 401k that I have, they would put in 3% of what I make a year into a retirement account once a year. And if I switched, they would up that to 5% weekly.
Man, they want you out of this pension bad.
Correct. But I also think it's going to be
pension's
good
in
for
trouble.
me in the long run.
Their pension's in trouble. They're
I just
writing
think
you a
want-
check for what? What are we up to now? 10x, 20x to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, get out. I mean, I'd take, read the tea leaves on that puppy.
Yeah.
Here's the other
It's a very-
advantage.
it's
The 401k over the pension is always an advantage before we even start doing the math. And the reason is this. You die, the pension dies with you. You die with $1 million your 401k, it goes to your heirs.
Yeah.
So you get to keep the asset when it's in a 401k. They keep the asset when it's in a pension.
Correct.
And so 401k, all things being equal, always beats pension. But this thing, this starts to be a slam dunk. You got 2.4% plus 3%. You're getting this thing. They're waving the flares, aren't they, George?
Oh yeah, and with how young he is, that compound growth is going to do him way better than the $48 a year in the pension. So I'm taking that.
Yeah, when you leave, you can roll your 401k, whatever's in there, the matches and everything else. Probably that retirement plan as well, out if you ever left the union. You could roll it out to just to a rollover IRA into some mutual funds. So unless I'm missing something with the numbers you're giving me, it's way more than a no-brainer. It's $2,500 for $48.
Yeah. And, it's a lifetime of that pension, but beyond that, like you're saying, it's gone when he's gone.
Yeah, and it's just...
He can become his own pension at his age with how he's investing.
Yeah,
he won't need it.
I'll pass. Yeah, I'm gonna take their deal. I think they're yelling at you with the math. Please get out quickly.
Well, I'm sure you've seen pensions are going away year after year. Companies are moving away from that into the 401k.
Well, they're very difficult to manage, and the reason they're very difficult to manage is the regulations on them are extreme. They're not allowed to do anything that we would normally do with our investing because it's called too risky. They're not allowed to put the whole thing in mutual funds. Okay?
So it's very conservative.
They have to, because pensions in the old days would go broke, so the feds came in and over-regulated them to keep them from going broke, to protect the people, so to speak. But in the effort to protect them, they've ruined the ability to operate a pension efficiently. So a pension typically is going to pay 6.5% to 7% rate of return out of it. That's basically what you're going to get out of it. And it dies when you die. But then you've got the actuarial table built in because it dies when you die. And so if you've got all the old guys are the major pension holders and they're all out there, this thing could get upside down. The young guys are supporting the old guys.
Kind of like Social
The
Security.
young population, yeah, exactly. It becomes a pyramid scheme because it's not earning enough to even cover the payout, and that's where they get upside down because they're overregulated. So I'm not predicting the end of the world, but a lot of people are moving away from pensions, and now even this union. Unions are one of the last holdouts on pensions, but even this union is dumping it, and so, whew, I think they're yelling at you to run, and I believe I would.
If they're scared, I'm scared.
Take the hint. Oh, my goodness. Wow, there we go. This is The Ramsey Show. Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. If you've ever been to one of our live events, you know they're all about the life change that you and your family can do, and we're going to show you how. When you come to an event, you spend a whole day digging into all areas of your life when it comes to our SMART conference. Money, personal growth, leadership, mental health, your career. You will leave informed and hyped up and ready to make real change. This is the SMART Conference. Yep, SMART Conference is back. It's been 3 years. Gosh, it feels like 20. Yeah, we're so pumped to get this event back on the road. We're going to be in Dallas on October the 22nd. George Camel will be one of our speakers. I will be there. It is going to be a great event. Craig and Amy Groeschel from lifechurch.tv are going to be teaching on marriage. That will be a new segment, and they are really incredible. You don't want to miss this. SMART Conference is our biggest event of the year. Don't miss it. It's going to be a day-long, jam-packed event. You get advice from leading experts in every field. Tickets start at just $39. It's a great price for a full-day event like this. I promise you, this is world-class speakers, communicators, authors, teachers on all of these different areas of your life. You will leave smarter. Go to RamseySolutions.com/events. Get your tickets now before they're gone. They're selling very quickly. If you haven't noticed stuff like live events, people are blowing up on them. I think everybody's ready to get back out there and do stuff with other human beings again, you know? Like it's hard to get tickets to anything. And these are selling very quickly. RamseySolutions.com/events and check out the SMART Conference October the 22nd in Dallas. Mary is in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Hi, Mary. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Oh
Hi.
My gosh, what a privilege it is to speak with you.
You too.
Oh, thank you. So I have something kind of weighing heavy on my heart, and I was hoping to seek your advice. So I'm 31 years old. My husband is a couple of years older than me, and my daughter is 6. I have a very close relationship with my parents, and they're in their 70s. They recently informed me that my daughter and I will be receiving a little over $1 million in inheritance when they pass away, which is wonderful. That's very generous. What I'm having a hard time with is I'm adopted. They're not my biological parents. And they also informed me that my brother, who's my father's biological son, will not even be receiving half of that. And he and I don't have a good relationship anyways. I mean, it's civil. We're not close by any means. He's 20 years older than I am.
Why the discrepancy?
And I think it's because they don't have a very close relationship with him.
Mm-hmm.
He's from my father's first marriage, and they didn't raise him together.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how can we help?
So my question is, how can I get over this guilt and if and when they pass? How do I maintain a good relationship with my brother when that happens?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you don't have a great relationship right now with your brother.
It's civil. We enjoy seeing each other, but we just have such a huge age gap and just completely different lives that we don't really communicate with each other that much.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you need to free yourself of this because it's not a decision you made. So there's nothing to feel guilty about. There's relational equity that you have with the family, and that turns into financial equity with the inheritance.
The guilt would be if you did something. You didn't do anything. So, and I think it's probably named wrong. Instead, let's name it something else. Because I get that you have angst about it. I get that you feel kind of like, ugh. Why, this is not going to go well, and I'm going to get blamed. That's kind of how it feels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what we call that, but guilt would be if you did something wrong. You didn't do anything, so this is not on you. Unless you manipulated your parents into a bigger inheritance, but that's not what you said. So I'm going with your story. So first, let's just say out loud, your parents are cowards to dump this on you. They should call him up and tell him what he's getting and what you're getting. They did that with you.
They have informed him
that you're getting $1 million and he's getting $500,000.
He's getting about $300,000.
Okay. Have they told him what you're getting?
I believe so. They said that they would.
All right. So
I had asked them to.
That's good. That's what they should do. I'll retract my statement that they're not cowards then if they did that. Because they're dumping the problem of the relational angst on you upon their death if they don't handle it while they're alive. And so we tell people, read the will while you're alive and tell everybody what they're getting. And if somebody's going to be pissed, let's go ahead and deal with it while I'm alive. And so if they've done that, then I guess brother's already got it figured out that you didn't do anything. He already knows.
Okay.
I would verify that they did that. With them. I mean, you told him how much I'm getting and how much he's getting. If not, you should, Mom and Dad, because it's not fair to leave me looking like the bad dog, the bad person at the end of this story, because I didn't do anything here. Right?
Okay.
And if they do that, then maybe brother just looks at it and goes, okay, I don't really talk to him that much anyway, and she hangs out over there all the time. I get it. Like, I have a relative who will leave 100% of their money to one child and will leave the other child nothing, who they have no relationship with. And that's completely understandable. I have a relative that's doing that right now. And I agree with it, by the way. And that's okay. But you shouldn't, you're not entitled to money just because of your DNA. You're entitled to the money if somebody wants to leave it to you. It's their money. They get to do with it what they want. And so he has no real gripe to start with. And so he's $300,000 ahead of what he should be probably. But the
big thing is not letting his resentment and anger towards her be a reflection of her character.
Right.
Because it has nothing to do with her.
You didn't write this narrative. You just are in the story. You didn't write the story. And so I get that it feels icky, and I really don't disagree with you about that. The only way to remove that is when stuff is awkward or weird, the best way to clean it up is shine light on it.
Call it out.
And all the roaches run to the corner as soon as you turn on the lights. And so if you'll go ahead and just call it out, if they've already called it out, then he has the opportunity to interact with them. And if he wants to be mad at you, I guess he can be. He may call you and say, I'm pissed at you. I don't know. But at least he can get all that out of the way now before the money actually transfers. And even then, you just go, I didn't do it, Yeah,
you have the conversation with them and go, hey, I know this is weird. I had nothing to do with this. I still want to have this relationship with you. I love you.
Yeah.
And you move on from there. And if he can't handle that, that's on him.
Exactly.
If that relationship can't move on.
Exactly. This is not...
She's just a good person and with a big heart, and she feels that
she's just
weight.
Sweet. Well, you feel it is an awkward as crud thing, but the way to get rid of the awkward is for Mom and Dad to tell him the same thing they told her.
And the why behind it.
If the why is, if they can do it without being nasty, and just go, this is just our decision, and you don't have to hurt his feelings too. Just tell him this is what he's getting, this is what she's getting, and leave it at that. But this is why you do a will, and this is why you read the will out loud before you die to all parties concerned, so that everyone knows what's going on, and you can go ahead and get all that weirdness out of the way. And that's a good question, and it's good. You have a good heart for worrying about it, but I think it's on him and on them. It's not on you.
She's got to release it.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. It's a free call, 888-825-5225. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Scott and Militia are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Doing well, Dave. Hi. How are you?
Welcome. Where do you guys live?
Fort Worth, Texas.
All right. Welcome to Nashville. And all the way here to do a debt-free scream, holding the big red thermometer all the way filled in. I love it. How much have you paid off?
$189,900.
Woo! I love it. How long did this take?
That was 5 years and 1 month.
Wow, good for you. And your range of income during that 5 years and 1 month?
$185,000 to $210,000.
Nice income. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead.
And now I stay at home.
And I'm a fireman.
Ah, awesome. Two people who serve.
Sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pretty incredible. $190,000 over 5 years. Am I going to guess right when I say that's your house?
Yes.
You're half right. Half of it was a rental house, and half of it was our house.
Okay, but you're a house and everything.
Yes, sir.
House and everything.
Yes, sir. Oh, my goodness.
Looking at weird people. Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
I love it. Way to go, you guys. So what's this house worth?
In this market, probably about $450,000.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. I love it. Wow.
And a rental property.
And a rental property. What's the rental property worth?
That rental property is probably worth about $200,000 right now.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Very cool, guys. Excellent job.
Thank you.
How's it feel to be your age? I mean, you're youngsters. How old are you?
I'm 38.
Uh-huh.
And I'm 44.
Just pups. And you got the house paid for.
We
Yes,
have
sir.
our house paid for.
Yes, sir. Thanks be to God.
I
Dave,
love it.
We got to tell you something, though.
All right.
This is the second time we've paid off our mortgage.
Okay.
So the first time we were debt-free, actually, was in 2011.
2011. So this took us 5 years and 1 month. But if we go back to the very beginning, we got married in 2005. I was introduced to you, Dave, and to the Baby Steps by a guy that I worked at the fire department with. We would listen to you in the ambulance on our way back from the hospital after transporting somebody.
It's a little scary. Okay.
Well, yeah. But he was getting out of debt at the time, and I'd never heard of you, so we would listen to your show, and you made a lot of sense to me, and I took your plan to Militia, and we talked about it, read your book, and we decided that was the financial future for our family, the plan to get there. It was so simple, but such a great roadmap, and from 2006 to 2011, we paid off 2 cars, our previous house, and a small rental property as well. And so in 2011, we were totally debt-free. She was in her 20s, I was in my 30s. And over the next 5 years, I don't really have an answer for you as to why, but we decided to go Dave-ish. Can't really say why. I wish it was a straight line from there to here, but we took a little turn. We bought the second rental property, not for cash, and we decided to move up in house. So the previous house that we had, we sold, and we moved up in house. So that's where we found ourselves 5 years and 1 month ago. Was with the 189.9.
What activated you to get back on?
Go ahead.
Well, we had already had such success with your program from early on in our marriage. Like he said, I was only in my late 20s, and we were looking at our finances and saw that we already had a paid-for house, paid for cars, no debt, and we knew this was the way we wanted to live forever.
Except for that part. Except for that part where you didn't.
Except for that detour, yes. You joke with people. You're like, hey, if you don't like not having a mortgage, you can always go get another one. It wasn't that we didn't like it, but we did go get another one.
I think
so
over the 5 years that we didn't have a mortgage, and it was like kind of a little slippery slope. You start to forget a little bit, and you start to get a little too cushy. I guess at least that's how we were. It wasn't like, oh, we have everything paid off, let's just go party and forget all about Dave Ramsey. It was just like the 5 years just was kind of a slippery slope, and then we ended up wanting to change communities and move and things like that.
And we wanted Melissa to be able to stay home. And
So now you busted it for 5 years and got out of debt. Are you going to do it again?
Never again. Never again.
Convince me why not.
I think, so I will say this. The first time through, Michael was not yet born and Jonah was very little. Our lives were very different. And this is going to sound like a first world problem, but it was not that difficult for us to do the first time. The second time, it took a long time. It took longer. It was more arduous. Our kids were older, so our lives had changed drastically. We were doing more things, more activities, more expenses. And so having to be patient for that 5 years and 1 month was a tough task. So I never want to go back again.
So by the time you got done, you were really sick of it.
Yes, sir.
Oh, we were mad at it. We were, yeah.
Sounds like the more sacrifice you had to make, the less likely you were to ever do that again.
Yes.
The first time you didn't feel the
Absolutely.
pain as much.
Precisely.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, it was just the two of us. And so we could pick up all the overtime we wanted, and we just threw everything we could, just the two of us. But we didn't have many outgoing expenses and things like that. And so, so I think we just thought it would be just as easy. But the second time around, it wasn't. We had kids.
Throw kids in the mix, it changes everything.
We had kids and more expenses.
Yeah.
And it was harder, but more rewarding because we did it with our family.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to teach them the lessons along the way, too, which was really
They
key for us.
colored in this little thermometer for us every time we
the
made
way
a
through.
payment.
Stayed
You
in
can
the
see
lines.
the coloring job.
Now that you're done, you don't have a payment in the world. The rental property's paid for. You got the other rental property still, too?
We have 2 total, and that's it. Yes,
What's
sir.
the other one worth?
That one's probably worth about $150.
Okay. Wow. All right. And so you're with retirement and everything, you're easily baby steps millionaires, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Way to go, guys.
Yes, sir.
And,
Thank you.
And 40 years old. Man, that's amazing.
Yes,
I mean, that's very good. Okay. So how's it feel?
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Fantastic. It's almost surreal to even be here on the stage, to be quite honest with you. We said all the way through the journey, like one day we're going to be on that stage with Dave. So here we are.
I love it.
We are so grateful to you and what you imparted upon our marriage early on that kept us from fighting about money and helped us to always be on the same page about money and to make these goals, family goals. And I don't know what we would have done without it. So
Yeah. Wow. Way to go,
it's
y'all.
amazing. Thank you.
Well,
so
thank you.
much.
We're proud of you. You guys are rock stars, man.
And our
You're amazing.
kids know your voice as soon as it comes on the radio.
I love it.
And all your songs. Yeah.
I look forward to meeting them. And their names and ages, let's bring them into the shot.
Jonah is 12,
Uh-huh.
and Michael is 6.
All right. Very cool. And they know what's going on then, huh?
Yes, sir, they do.
They
Jonah-
know, they know their family tree has changed because of their mom and dad are
Yes,
awesome.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Well, I think it's get mad at your debt and make your money work for you. And the second time around, it's been more family focused. So about the values that you're teaching to your children, about giving yourself no answers and being okay with saying no to yourself, and self-discipline and delayed gratification and all the things that we try to teach our kids. I hope that they learn through our example every time we said no and every time we tell them no and things like that. Life is about being able to accept those things and being able to be rewarded in the future for that.
Amen.
Delayed gratification for sure.
They saw me put super glue on my shoes, and he zip tied his fender onto his car to make this happen. And also being able to live like crazy people,
Yeah.
like weirdos.
Yeah. Well, you are weird now. You're officially weird. I love it.
Does he have a certificate in his hand? Is that FPU? What is that about?
This is the Foundations in Personal Finance.
Oh,
that
he went through
He
it.
went through it for middle schoolers.
Oh, wow.
And they have both done Financial Peace Junior.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
very
we
good.
made this a family affair for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
They're
good.
indoctrinated now.
Absolutely.
For sure. That's awesome.
We want them to be free.
The
We
way to
want them
go.
to live free and be free.
I love it.
Yes,
well,
sir.
I'm proud of you guys. Well done. We got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires because you should be in that book. That's perfect. That is your next chapter in your story, and you've already living in that. So very, very well done. A copy of Total Money Makeover for you to give away and wake someone up. So very, very, very good job. Pretty incredible story.
Thank you.
Scott and Militia, Jonah and Michael, Fort Worth, Texas, $190,000 paid off. That's their house, their rental properties, everything. Baby Steps Millionaires at 40 years old, 5 years and 1 month, making 185 to 210. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! I love it! Woohoo! This is the Ramsey Show.
4, 3.
George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is joining me as my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Meredith is in Tampa, Florida. Hi, Meredith. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing all right. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So, found out last night that my rent is going to be increasing by 62% once my lease is up. From
Good Lord.
$1,050, to $1,700 a month. So I'm currently working the baby steps on baby step 2, and I wouldn't be house poor per se. I would still have a little bit, but my shovel would be drastically dented.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah. So you're paying like $1,100 now?
Yeah, $1,100 now.
Were you under? You think you were under the market before, or the market has just jumped that much?
I think maybe a little bit of both. Honestly, I feel like I've looked around since then, and it looks like everything in this area, like people are just flooding to Florida, and so I think it's just driving up. And most things are comparable to the $1,700 amount that's coming around. So
you either move down in quality of house or location, or you accept the increase.
Basically, yeah. And a lot of the apartment complexes around here are income restricted, so it makes too much to move there, but also we'll be pretty strapped here. So wanted to get your input. Would you sign the lease given the way the housing market is? The only thing I would wonder, the caveat to that, is if I don't sign the lease and I go month to month, it's a $100 difference, which I feel like is pretty low for not signing the lease. So I don't know if it seems like maybe it would be best to hold off, pay the extra $100 a month, and if it seems like the market's going to go out.
What's your household income?
$70,000.
Whew. Wow.
Is it a one-bedroom, and are you living alone?
So it's a 2-bedroom, and I have been looking for a roommate because I'm trying to really go cheetah intense and all that fun stuff for baby step 2, which would have been great before, but now almost feels like it's more than breaking even, but it kind of feels like it's a lot less if I were to get a roommate. But
how much longer do you have with this baby step 2 with this increased rent? How much longer do you think it'll take?
With the increased rent, I haven't run the numbers. I again just found out last night. So currently it stands I should be done by February of 2024, and that's without a roommate, without a side hustle.
What do you do for a living?
I'm an executive assistant.
Okay. How far are you from work?
I am in my living room right now.
Oh,
so I get to work remotely, thankfully.
Okay, so it's remote. Okay.
Yeah.
You could do some extra virtual assisting on the side if that's something you want to do to get the income up right now. I would probably also get a roommate if you're cool with that for a year to speed up the process, because that's just a long time to remain in baby step 2 and not knowing what the market's going to do with rent.
Yeah, agreed. So you would sign then and just continue to add on?
No, not yet. I mean, you've known about this for 24 hours. So I'm going to, how long will they give you to make your decision?
So I have until the 31st because it needs to be a 60-day notice. However, if I don't, I have to do a 30-day notice from that point onward, from May 31st onward. So, hypothetically.
Yeah, I would say between now and the 31st, you have a new hobby, and that's looking at rentals.
Yeah. Which has been a fun hobby.
You've scanned the market enough to ascertain that this is not, they're not gigging you, that this is just the new price in the marketplace. They're not being crooks or something like that. They've not done anything wrong. And you don't have a lot of options that are readily apparent, but that's 24 hours worth of research. So, I really think I'm going to go looking for that garage apartment out back of some rich old lady's house or something that, that's 10 or 15 miles further out of your center of normal behaviors. That's a little bit less convenient, but is half the price. I'm going to look for that needle in a haystack for a little while. I'm not going to bet my life on it, but I mean, boy, if you could land something back down around $1,000 that was tolerable and was safe and clean and that kind of stuff. If it was a little bit inconvenient, I'd rather do that. But you're not going to find that in the first 24 hours. You're going to spend some time and effort to find that property, if it even exists. I'm not saying it does 100% of the time, but one of my rules on decision making is when I have two possible options and both of them suck, I don't yet have enough options.
That's a fair point. Okay.
So I want to put more options on the table, even if they're uncomfortable for other reasons.
Sure.
Other than just price. The price is right, but it's uncomfortable because of ... And I don't know whether the ... is tolerable or not. But after that, I'm with George. Yeah, pick up extra work and take in a roommate and try to find another way to get at this housing angle.
And being remote, I mean, you could move further out to a cheaper area.
Easy.
Temporarily. This is not forever, but while you're getting out of debt, get that emergency fund in place. It may be a sacrifice.
I mean, I'm the world's worst. I mean, we just moved in October for the first time. I don't move much. I can't stand moving. It's like having a root canal. But we moved about 20 minutes further away from downtown Nashville. We were already about 25 minutes out of downtown Nashville, which I don't go down there that much except to eat. Good food scene in Nashville. But now it feels like we're out in the country. We got to get up, we got to get a list and go to town. It feels like, oh my God. And it's not that much further.
No, it's 5-10 minutes, but it feels like
15 minutes. But it's just feels, there's an emotional adjustment more than a factual adjustment.
Yeah,
is what
my
I'm
wife
trying to
dealt with
say.
that too. We moved to the suburbs with all these families, and she's like, I want to be near Nashville where all the action is. And I can tell, with a young lady like that, you kind of don't want to be
right down there in a minute, though. I mean, my point is it's more mental than it is actual.
Yeah.
Sometimes to be further out, and it might change the price equation substantially. 15 minutes might.
Say $500 to be 10 minutes further out.
Depending on which direction you went and so on. That kind of thing is a way to think about it. I'm not saying that's the answer, but here's a good thing to keep in mind, all of you that are facing rent increases and real estate price increases and everything else. One of the classes I took getting my degree in real estate was urban planning. And generally speaking, with no barriers, which never exists, but with no political or geographical or topographical barriers, if you take the downtown area of the central business district and you drop a pebble there, the rings go out, like in a pond, and the further out those rings you go, generally speaking, it's cheaper. Now, the exceptions are when one of those rings bumps into a piece of water, the price might go way up. Or one of those rings bumps into a mountain, the price might go way up. And the other side of that mountain might be way down because it's very inconvenient to drive around it. Or the other side of the bay, Tampa, that kind of a thing, right? So there's that ring theory breaks down when it bumps into stuff.
Yeah.
But generally, the further you go out into rural from the central business district of a major metroplex, the cheaper it gets, generally. Now, again, an exception will be political things. One of those is in Nashville, is the county that we live in is out several rings, but it is the wealthiest county in Tennessee, the 11th wealthiest county in the nation. And so house prices here are bonkers.
Oh, yeah.
Because of that. But it's the, quote, place to live, so to speak, that kind of crap.
There's a new neighborhood across from ours, and the houses were starting. It's all dirt still. They were starting at $700. I just checked back in. They're now $1.3 million, and it's still dirt. They just upped the price.
Housing, they just changed the sign. Housing beginning at.
Yes.
Prices beginning at. Mark through it, mark through it, mark through it, and keep raising them. Yeah,
because you can.
But again, the whole idea being that if you move out a little bit further, I will admit, because I'm experiencing it personally, that you have a bit of an emotional hangover in that you feel like that you're further out than you really are. It's not that big a deal. But because people that are laughing all around America right now, they're hearing me talk about a 15-minute commute like it's a big deal. Because they're like, try 2 hours and 15 minutes.
On a train, plane, automobile,
exactly.
and bus.
But the again, just to challenge you, because you can always, when you're renting especially, you can always move out a little bit because it's a temporary move. Renting is always camping. It's glorified camping while we wait to get out of debt and build up the money to buy a house. So, good discussion. And boy, it's a big thing out there right now. Whew, this rent. it is something else. George Camel, Ramsey personality, good hour. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. You jump in, we'll talk about your life, your money. George Camel, Ramsey personality, is my co-host as we talk about your money, your relationships, your career, your job, your mental health. Anything about it, your life you want to talk about, we're here to work with you. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Matthew is in Baton Rouge. Hey, Matthew, how are you?
Doing well, Mr. Dave. Thank you. We're blessed and highly favored. Thank you, Mr. George, for also taking my call today.
Sure. How can we help?
Dave, well, I just really quickly, just a short background. FPU graduate 3 years ago, 18 months debt-free, then 18 months debt-free. So total of 3 years here, we killed $89,000 in debt. We've got, I believe in 3 times your emergency fund. I would like to be very careful. I have my 6 months in place of expenses. I'm investing my 15%. Self-employed, and we are forced to sell a house that was given to us 3 years ago because the family member passed away. And in short, now we're going to get hit with capital gains. So we're doing a 1031 exchange, and I feel that I'm where I should be to go ahead and start investing. Correct me if I'm wrong with that, but I have no other choice unless I want to give my silent partner a lot of my money. And I don't feel like giving Uncle Sam that money. So pulling out the 1031, my question to you is, I want something safe. I've evaluated my risk factor, my returns, and my maintenance. And I want low risk, good return, and low maintenance, of course, but I'm looking to start generating the revenue for my retirement. That's what I'm looking at, y'all.
All right, so the house, you inherited it, and what was it worth at the time you inherited it?
What it's worth?
No, at the time you inherited it, what was it worth?
Well, we just 3 years ago. I wouldn't know because.
Well, I mean, give me a guess. Give me for example purposes. Give me a guess.
I'm gonna tell you $250, Dave.
Okay, so that's our example. All right, and
yes.
So anything you make above $250, you're going to have capital gains on. So what will the house sell for?
We have it under contract at $285.
Okay. You don't have any taxes.
Okay.
15% on $35,000. It's not even $35,000 after expenses. When your selling expenses are also deductible. So I mean, you're talking about $3,000 in taxes. You don't need to do a 1031.
Okay. So the house was an act of donation, not a true inheritance due to a will or death. It was.
I thought you said it was an inheritance.
Prior.
Okay,
well, no, sir.
That's different.
Sorry if I did, but no, sir. I was trying to get you.
No, that's okay. That changes the math, though. That changes the math because now your basis is what they paid for it, which is probably little or nothing.
Exactly, $21,000.
Yeah, okay. So now you got a big capital gain. I'm back with you on a 1031. Okay.
Sorry,
good.
sir.
That's okay. I'm just making sure I'm touching my bases here. And so
yes, sir.
So why have you had it rented during the 3 years?
No, sir. They were living in it with usufruct, so that was where the family members were staying. But before they died and all that, they took care of all their property, their last, what they want to do, where they want it all given to. Yeah. So they gave it all away, and we said, well, y'all just stay there. We'll just stay there, and we'll take care of you, no problem. But now they're gone. So
Can you? Are you sure? Have you checked with a tax person that you can claim this as a rental property? Because it has to be a rental property to do a 1031 to another rental property. And it doesn't sound like you collected any rent.
That would be correct. I did talk with the accountant, and she's just telling me that we have to, do the 1031. We don't want to put capital gain on it, but
she's aware you didn't collected rent on it.
Sir?
She's aware you collected no rent on it.
Yes, sir.
I want you to get another tax opinion. Because
yes,
I'm not sure, but I mean, it's a like-kind exchange, and it has to be income property for income property, and there's been no income on this property, so I'm a little worried for you in the event of an audit. But let's go forward that the 1031 works, and that my concerns have been allayed. You get some good advice because I'm not sure, and you're gonna. So you have $285,000 you need to reinvest into another piece of real estate that produces income.
Yes, sir.
And so, what are you? You're asking what to buy?
In short, what was just a couple ideas that you would say are safe, conservative, and as a beginner, this is my first one. Okay, that I have no clue. We love to Tennessee. We thought about cabins. We thought about commercial property here and rent out to tenants. But the economy and the prices and real estate has got us so whacked out. I just don't know what. But I'm forced to do it within 6 months. I believe is my max. I got to close.
Right. So you got to find a $285,000 property that you like that fits your guidelines of low maintenance, low risk. And no, it's not a cabin in Tennessee. It's a income producing property near you. That's probably another house is probably what it is. But you're probably not buying an old house in a junky neighborhood. You're buying something that's a little newer and is not going to require the level of maintenance and will serve you going forward. You've already got it under contract to sell it. Why was it you sold it again?
Well, it would sit out there vacant. It's in
you couldn't rent it.
Minutes away. No, sir. In the area of the state we live in, it would be tore up, full of drugs, and Lord knows what else.
I got you.
Before that town goes even worse. Yes, sir.
I got you. Okay, I understand. It's not something you wanted to keep. Is what it amounts to. Okay. So yeah, you got it. What I'm looking for is I'm probably looking for a nice condominium that's 5 years old or something, and it doesn't have a lot of maintenance issues that I can drop $300,000 into or $250,000 into, and just keep it real simple. Don't overcomplicate this. But you do need to check with someone other than your accountant, in addition to your accountant, and get another piece of tax advice and make sure that this 1031 will fly.
Yeah, I would jump on RamseySolutions.com, connect with a good ELP tax pro and a real estate agent to help you start running comps and going, hey, where am I going to find some good, stable rent in a good neighborhood for this price range? And if you can do that with cash, I think you're going to be in good shape.
Yeah. So for those of you wondering what the flip we've been talking about for the last 5 minutes, a 1031 tax deferred exchange is what you do instead of trading properties. In the old days, you used to have to trade properties if you wanted to move your gain from one property into another. Let's say he had a house to sell and he wanted to not pay capital gains on that $285,000 in his case. Then he would have to go find another piece of property, and the person that's buying his property would buy the other piece of property to trade with him, and he could roll it over. They simplified the laws 25 years ago probably and started calling it a 1031 tax deferred exchange, where you sell the property into a special 1031S, that's the number in the IRS regulations, 1031, into a 1031 escrow account, and then you have 6 months to buy another property, and it allows you to roll your equity into the other property as if you had done a trade.
Without any tax implications.
Without any tax implications today. When you do sell that other property, now you got the old basis in that rolled over, so you're going to get your butt taxed off then. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. George Camel Ramsey Personality is my co-host today. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. This is The Ramsey Show. We all know time is important. It is more precious than money, than shiny toys or winning certificates at work. And like spending money from an account when you don't know how much is in it, we never know how much time we've got left. So if you could do one thing that would make the time you have left even more worthwhile, wouldn't you do it? Of course you would. We all would. We get that. And we want to help you have everything you need to be well. And that's why we're partnering with BetterHelp to give you a month of free one-on-one weekly therapy when you pre-order a copy of Dr. John Deloney's new book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future. It comes out in April, but guess what? If you pre-order it, you get a free month of one-on-one therapy that'll give you the tools you need to change your future, because you get matched up with a therapist based on your specific needs. This is an incredible bargain. For $20, you buy a book, and you get this thrown in. Wow. Off the chart. I mean, I can't even imagine how much money this is. It's crazy. Now, when you read this life-changing book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future, you'll feel like Dr. John's sitting right there with you. He'll make you laugh. He always does. He'll make you cry. He always does. And he'll challenge you. He always does. And he'll make you think about your health. The health of your mind. And it did me when I read the book. I really personally enjoyed this. It's transformative stuff. And every one of us got one or two dials inside of us that we could click a couple notches on and get a little better, right? And that's true on anything, but it's certainly true on this. So get your free therapy sessions by pre-ordering Own Your Past, Change Your Future, $20 at RamseySolutions.com. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That means even if you mismeasure, you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. Free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best possible deal.
Today's question comes from Kathy in Arizona. She says, my daughter just got married and her husband loves your show and is budgeting according to your plan. For new couples who are starting out and getting to know each other, it's hard to be on a tight budget with no extra money for date nights or even a yearly vacation. With both of them working full-time, there needs to be something to look forward to besides just paying the bills. Shouldn't your plan be modified a bit to include adequate funds for these activities as they get to know each other both personally and financially? That makes me laugh. That's good, Kathy. Wow. I don't know what plan she read. Your plan is to have no extra money, right? That's the plan I know and love.
Honey, you need to leave your grown kids alone and let them run their own lives, you interfering mother-in-law.
What book did she read?
Oh, okay. No, we don't have money for date nights in there when you're trying to get out of debt. No, we don't have money for vacations in there when they're trying to get out of debt. And this poor little couple, newly married, will survive that. They'll make it, I promise, Mom. And they'll get to know each other just fine because they ain't got anything to do except sit and look at each other. So it's going to work out just fine.
I love that you said as they get to know each other financially.
Yeah,
That's very interesting.
Yeah. So here is what you do need to guard against. I'm making fun of you, Kathy, because you need to be made fun of. But the thing you do need to guard against here that you are right about, I will take your side on this, is if he is being a control freak and clamping down and your daughter doesn't have a vote in this, your daughter needs to speak up. Because what we do teach is that both of them have a vote. But we do teach to sacrifice to win, to live like no one else so that later you can live like no one else. And if they both are committed to getting out of debt and they're going to sacrifice to win the way we teach, it is not going to harm their little tender relationship. As a matter of fact, it will draw them closer together because unlike their other married friends who are so freaking snowflake that all they worry about is being nurtured, instead they're actually sacrificing to hit a goal together, and that draws people closer together than snowflaking in the same room.
That sums it up. Well, here's what I'm saying. Their financial situation isn't clear here. We don't know if they're in debt,
That's right.
But the fact that she said they're on a tight budget makes me think they're probably in baby step 2.
They're probably broke.
He wants to get them out of debt so they can go on vacation and not come home with the vacation on the credit card for the rest of their life.
And mommy is worried about her little princess.
They're newlyweds. They're fine.
I know.
They don't need to go anywhere.
And you know, but seriously, it's okay if they have. No, our budget does not say you cannot enjoy your life. It does say that you should tighten up everything and not have a bunch of fluff in your budget in order to accomplish your financial goals, which is get out of debt. And it is worth the sacrifice, and no, it will not damage their relationship beyond harm.
And you know what creates that margin for all that fun stuff? Getting out of debt.
See,
it's amazing how that works.
The reason an old fart like me laughs at something like this is because I remember when I got broke, when I got married, I was so broke I couldn't pay attention. And I can guarantee you, neither one of our mothers gave a crap about our little relationship.
So Dave should take Sharon on vacations.
My little daughter is not going to. No, her mother's like, you people need to get your butt in gear and work. That would have been both of our mothers. I mean, they would have had none of this. I mean, but it's a different thing now. So it's a little bit of a helicopter parent, Kathy. That's what we're hearing
here. And if
here.
Kathy cares so much, just send him on vacation.
No.
Kathy. Gift it to him. Gift it to him.
No. Don't interfere.
She's already interfering, clearly.
Let these grown people be grown people. You quit helicoptering. That's what I read here. Now, if I'm being mean to you and you get your little feelings hurt, I understand.
She'll call in or email you.
Yeah, she'll send me an email, but it's okay. I'll still love you, and I'm just going to make fun of you for being a helicopter mom. And you're sweet. You love your daughter, but you need to let her toughen up a little bit. It's not going to kill her. She's not going to lose her relationship. Her husband's not going to hate her. She's not going to hate her husband because they can't go out on a date night. Sharon and I didn't even know what a date night was. After we got married. Prior to getting married, we had date nights, but after getting married, I mean, we were married 5 years before this whole date night thing came up.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
You're supposed to go out on a date on Tuesday night with your wife.
Back then, you were going steady, right? That's what it was back then.
No, we were just married. It's like the whole thing was a date. You know, it wasn't like we had to go out somewhere to a restaurant to prove it. So, but that's old fart stuff. So,
yeah, the times have changed, Dave.
Back in the day.
Get with it.
Back before the years began with an aught, before aught 22. You know, oh my gosh. But yeah, such a boomer.
Showing your age.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. But, you know.
But there is something about newlywed couples.
I went to a podcast with Mike Rowe this morning, Dirty Jobs, and Mike and I are like brothers from a different mother on this stuff, and so we talked for an hour. The podcast went on way too long.
Just two buddies.
I think I messed up his podcast, but I don't know when it airs, but y'all be listening for it. He and I were having a lot of fun, and they happened to record it too. So, but we were just talking about entitlement and snowflakes, and I was bragging on the millennial generation because I always do. You know that, George.
Yes.
I have a good reputation for bragging on them.
The ones you meet and hear, at least.
But I meet them everywhere. They work on our team.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them, and they work hard. The portions of the millennial generation are amazing. Portions of them aren't. But we love the portions that are, and they make great. Have great marriages. We see them in here doing debt-free screams and all kinds of things. But the ones that are entitled snowflakes, where they come from, is this right here.
And that parenting is what leads to that.
This right here. This is who has a 31-year-old living in their basement, but it's really good at Nintendo, really good at Call of Duty, and nothing else. And because, washing his own clothes is just too much to ask, So making up your own bed, oh my gosh,
it's a lot of work.
Yeah. So I'm making fun of you, Kathy, but I tell you what, if it's not you, it's somebody else out there like you that I'm making fun of.
It's pointing to a bigger problem.
There you go. Thank you very much.
It's not about this.
It's
situation.
a macro discussion, and you opened up the can of worms. So yeah, that's the thing. So no, we shouldn't modify our plan. Hadn't modified it in 30 years. Live like no one else so that later you can live like no one else. It's in the Bible. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but it yields a harvest of righteousness. Rim shot. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're not using Pure Talk for your wireless, you're paying too much. Pure Talk gives you the same great 5G coverage on the same 5G network as one of the big guys for half the cost. The average family saves over $800 a year. Go to puretalk.com and choose the affordable plan that's right for you. With their 30-day risk-free guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. On the debt-free stage, Chris and Jennifer are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey, y'all, doing awesome.
Hey,
Welcome. Where do y'all live?
Tucson, Arizona.
Cool. Welcome to Nashville. How much debt have you paid off?
$330,000.
Woo-hoo-hoo. How long did this take?
Just about 4 years, Dave.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
At the start, it was about $68,000. For 1 year throughout this journey, it jumped up to over $300,000.
Whoa.
And we're back down to about $110 now.
Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a pilot in the Air National Guard.
I'm a stay-at-home mom.
What happened to get it up to 300 for 1 year?
Well, I took a lucrative job opportunity deploying overseas, and it was a big sacrifice. 5 months out of that year was gone overseas, but that's what jumped us ahead so many years.
Yeah, you made a ton of money in a short period of time. And
yes, sir.
It paid a price to do it. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Through the pandemic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, during the pandemic.
Yes, sir. I was supposed to be gone for 3 months, and that turned into 5.
Yeah, oh, man. So you're a civilian contractor?
Yes, sir.
Flying?
Part-time in the Air National Guard. I'm back at my unit full-time now.
Yeah, okay. All right. But at that time, I mean, that gig you took
yes, sir.
is in the sandbox with civilian contractor.
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Okay, cool. All right, so 4 years and $330,000. That looks a lot like a mortgage, was it?
2 cars and a mortgage, yes, sir.
Wow! House is paid off! Look at that weird people!
So happy to be weird.
I love it. Where do you guys, what's this house worth?
Today, it's probably about $360.
Nice. Very nice. And it's yours.
It's all mine.
It's all yours.
I'll tell you what, the turf in the back feels so good on my bare feet.
I bet it does. I've heard the rumor. That's amazing.
How old are you two?
35 tomorrow. I'm 34.
Wow.
Happy birthday.
For the paid-for house.
Yes,
you guys
sir.
are incredible.
Paid for $360,000 house at 35 years old.
You guys busted it. So 4 years ago, you guys had 2 cars, living normal, you got the mortgage. What made you go, all right, we're going to go hard at this thing?
Oh, we were so normal. I mean, gosh, growing up, my mom always played Dave's show in the car. I knew his voice and I knew the music, but I had no idea what the teachings were about. But goodness gracious, through pilot school, we were blessed to meet Jacob and Cassie Warren, who turned us on to your show. They were under 30 years old and had 2 paid-for houses following your guys' strategies. So we're like, we have got to get on that great
So you're willing
train.
to listen to them. You're like, whatever they're doing, let's do that.
These people are going to be rich.
Yep.
Yeah,
They
I
had 2
like
little
it.
girls too, and we were like, if they can do it, and they're our friends and just normal people, we can do it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they didn't look like they had a Superman cape or anything.
Nope.
They just
normal,
did it.
Normal weird
Did it.
people.
Yeah.
So they coached you up and got you back involved. Now you're listening to the show and actually listening.
Actually
to the show.
listening. Yeah, I'm a pilot. The first thing I did was got into your website, and there was 7 steps. And as pilots, we do checklists.
Yep.
All day, every day. And I was like, I can do this. Come home to her. Hey, show her the amortization chart on our mortgage. We could buy another house with all the interest that we were paying on our mortgage. Big shout out to Bob Barker and Casey Woods, who just steered us in the right direction to make us go gazelle intense with your program as well.
Wow, very cool. So he comes home with it. He's all got his checklist. You know, he's doing his pilot thing. Jennifer, what'd you say?
At first, I said no.
No.
I remember the first time he told me we were going on a budget, and I was like, "What is a budget?" And that's not enough.
No.
And then he took me to Goodwill, and then he said, "This is where you're going to shop now."
Whoa.
Oh, my goodness.
And I was like, "What?"
This is not how you sell this.
There's nothing sexier in America than an amortization schedule and
Chris,
Goodwill.
don't you know we're supposed to modify this and leave room for your vacations and for your relationship and
I know that now, Dave.
I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm making fun of the last thing. Oh my gosh.
But you know what? It became like a game. I would take $20 to Goodwill, and I would see what I could get. And,
Oh wow. So you bought in, huh?
Oh yeah, no, I furnished our house and our backyard with stuff from Marketplace and Goodwill. I think everything is probably under $1,000. Bedroom sets, couches, play yards, all that. Yeah.
And it's not junk.
No, it's not junk.
No.
No.
It's amazing what you can get.
It is. It really is.
That was her full-time job for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and paid for itself easy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Instead of that'll be $50,000 and that'll be $150,000. And the play set is $450,000.
The kids don't know the difference.
Right? It's amazing how much you save. Like, we were looking at a new sofa, and it was like $6,000.
Yep.
I got mine for $50.
Oh! And it wasn't dirty, nasty. It's not horrible.
No, I
just
also
somebody wanted rid
bookbombed
of it.
so-
Somebody wanted rid of it. That's all it was. Yeah.
One part of the story we just feel the need to mention as well. The reason why we finished in 4 years instead of 6 or 7, just this past August, my father passed away. And thank goodness he was actually good with money. He had his savings for retirement, but gosh, at the age of 56, way too young. Fortunately, though, he was thinking ahead and set us up for success. And the last 75 of the house was paid for by an inheritance from him.
Wow.
So that was a huge blessing in his life. And
Well, and it's something that that when you did that, you know he's smiling.
Absolutely.
Because it's what he would have done.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's bittersweet. Bittersweet. I'm sorry for your loss.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's way too young. Oh, man. Well, way to go, you two. You're absolute freaking heroes. All right, now, tell America, how do you have a paid-for house by the time you are 35? What are the things you need to do to get out of debt?
2 things for me is really have a why, have your goal. And the second is not just having that goal, but have that high definition vision on how you're going to achieve it. And that's exactly what we did. We sat down at the dinner table and we dreamed in high definition on not exactly where we were going to be, not exactly when, but exactly how.
Mm-hmm.
I would say don't worry about what people think about you, because the right friends are going to stick and the wrong ones are going to go. And you just have to worry about what your family needs, your goals. And don't worry about the judgment. Now we can give so lavishly.
Did you have some haters?
I did at work. So while there was a short period of time we weren't flying, and every day, where are we going for lunch? I'm like, I brought my lunch. Where are we going for lunch? I brought my lunch. And they're just hating on me. Like, oh, you can spare it. You're a pilot now. It's okay. You can go out for lunch every now and then. Nope. I was sitting there with my orange lunchbox every day.
I love it. I love it.
Wow.
So, Jennifer, some of your friends go stink eye on you?
Well, they're not my friends anymore.
Oh, she cut him out. Just like that.
Just like that. Woo. Yeah.
Don't mess with Jennifer.
That's it. Jennifer, I mean, he's got a lunchbox. She got, yeah, there you go. Hey, I'm just saying, wow, way to go, you guys. Okay, very cool. Very cool. Who were your biggest cheerleaders?
His mom.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I bet
She's listening right now. Thank you, Angela.
Yeah, she used to make him listen when he was a kid in the car, so he's a financial peace baby.
Financial peace baby all the way, yes, sir.
Yeah, I love it. Very good. All right, well, let's bring the kiddos up. What are their names and ages?
Natalie's 8, Emily's 5.
Oh, perfect.
So cute. You got to jump on YouTube just to see how cute
you guys got to look deeply into your radio and see this. Man, this is pretty incredible.
With the stuffed animals.
That's a good why right there.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's a good why. Well done, Mom and Dad. All right, well, here we go. We got a copy of the Baby Steps Millionaires book for you. That's the next chapter in your story for sure. And also a copy of the Total Money Makeover book for you to give away. And maybe one of those friends will be converted that used to be a friend or something. You never know. Hardcore, man. I love it. Chris and Jennifer, Natalie and Emily, $330,000 paid off in 4 years, making $68 to $300 to $110. Count it down. House and everything. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt free!
I love it. There's nothing better than those little voices doing that, because that means that his mom, their grandmother, legacy is continued. When she made him listen to the radio in the car and hear us, now her granddaughters are sitting there in a paid-for house because of her. Man, that's powerful. Makes me cry. I love it. This is The Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Colleen is in Cleveland, Ohio. Hi, Colleen. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, I'm calling with a future planning question. My mom passed away about a month ago, and the legacy that was passed down to her was from my grandparents, and there's not a whole lot left. Just about, when I divided up between my siblings, probably about $15,000 apiece. And I'm trying to decide or figure out, how do I create a legacy that represents the life of my mom and my grandparents.
I'm so sorry. What did she pass from?
She actually died because she had gangrene in her foot that became infectious. She had a lot of other issues, but that's ultimately what she passed away from.
How old was she?
76.
Okay. So she's obviously a great mom.
She was.
Yeah. And your grandparents too, huh?
Yes, they were.
Good. Well, that is a legacy right there, that the two of them, those two generations have woven into who you are. And if there was no money left, that legacy still lives, just in you and what you do to pass it on. What do you have in mind? What are you thinking about?
I don't know. My mom always loved to create spaces and environments and opportunities for the family to gather and be together. And my grandparents actually had a summer trailer just on a piece of property that was their summer home, and that's where we spent all of our summers. My mom was basically a single mom, and the inheritance from my grandparents allowed her to live to the age that she was at. So they saved very well, and we were kind of thinking about is that something we should do? We have 6 children. They all live relatively close, but it would be something that we could all go to in the summers and hang out and have campfires and camp out. And as the family grows, we could put tents out and that kind of thing. But we also want to be able to play for like piano lessons and soccer clubs and different things for our grandchildren. We have 6 children between us and 2 grandchildren right now. I don't know if we'll end up with more, but
sounds like a lot of work for $15,000.
It does.
Like you're asking that $15,000 to work awfully hard.
Yeah.
So it sounds. I mean, I don't know what a lot costs in your area that you're thinking of. I think what I would do is pick something that is doable. And I don't know. I'll tell you what ran through my head, and it doesn't mean it's the right answer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm kind of channeling my inner Dr. Deloney here for a second. God help me. I have a little inner Dr. Deloney.
Dangerous.
That's a really scary thought when you think about it. But anyway, very little. But he's kinder than I am. But the tent thing on the lots is trying to recapture a time that is no more. And I might try to do something that was the new thing that is the way the family does something, rather than something that is trying to recapture an old thing that is not anymore. And also, it just runs through my head. I don't know how you buy a lot for $15,000 that'll do that, but I might be wrong. Maybe you can. Maybe you've got one in mind. I don't know. But if you do that, that's okay. I'm not mad about it. I wonder if there's the thing that every time you do the new thing, you say, brought to you by mom and grandmom, and whatever that is. And that's the way you honor them. And it could just be that we all gather somewhere and we use this money to pay for the gathering. It doesn't necessarily we have to own a piece of ground and it's always the same thing every time. Maybe it's we rent a place for a week and it's a couple of grand or something like that, and everybody gathers there, and you leave the money and let it generate interest in the meantime. I'm making this up. I have no idea, Colleen, but I think what is more important than actually selecting the perfect thing, and if you mess that up, you didn't honor their legacy, is just going, their legacy is already built in the fact that you even asked this question.
Colleen, what's your financial picture look like? Are you guys out of debt? Do you have savings?
Yeah, we're in baby steps 4, 5, and 6. We have our emergency fund is fully funded for 6 months, and we're working on paying the house off. We have about $98,000 left on the house.
I just go back to, they were such good stewards of their money, and that's all you need to do to honor them, is be a good steward of that. And that looks different for everyone, but there's nothing wrong with throwing it on the house and getting the house paid for, and later on you buy the land when that time comes. You do that with cash. You're going to honor them with the way you live your life forever. And the $15,000 is just the starting point.
Yeah, it's not $1.5 million that you can create a foundation with. That's going to always, that the income off of it is going to be endowed. And what an endowment means is you put enough money in there one time that the income off of it will do the thing forever. That is the honoring thing, the memory thing, or whatever. And it's not enough there to do all of that. And so I'm going to step back and probably go George's route, or just pick something that we just say, this is the new thing. And each time we do it, we say, brought to you by your grandparents. And this is they value the fact that we gather together. And so we're gathering together, which, by the way, is a huge gift. Families don't do that enough. It's very difficult to do. Chris is with us in Cincinnati. Hi, Chris. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. I'm glad to be here, but I'm kind of not real good on the radio.
That's okay. Just ask your question right quick. You're okay. We're not going to mess you up. Ask your question. What you got?
My question is, I got this medical bill on my debt snowball. It's about in the middle of the debt snowball, and the payment on it is the highest monthly payment I have. It's larger than our refinance mortgage. And I'm wondering if, instead of leaving it in the middle and just having it sit there, if I should pay this off first ahead of some of the other loans that I have to get rid of that huge monthly payment. And, I'd be able to put that towards the other debt afterwards. But freeing that almost $800 a month would give me a bit more flexibility if something happens down the line and we need to, kind of scale back on paying off the debts.
Well, what's the total balance of it?
It's $12,000 right now.
And how old is that medical debt?
It was from September. It was a surgery I had in September.
Okay. Pretty recent. Well, I wouldn't mess with the debt snowball because it works every time you work it, and you're going to get to that debt sooner than later with these smaller payments getting knocked out. How fast is this all going to happen right now on your timeline?
If I left it where it was, it would take around 13 months to pay off the other debts that are ahead of it.
It'll almost be paid off then. It'll be paid off then. $800 on $12,000 in 13 months. It'll be gone.
Yeah, it's about 16 months on its own.
Yeah, but it's just about going to be done. You will have eaten through it just paying the minimum payments.
Yeah, I'm just looking at if I were to move the extra that I have towards it would be paid off in 9.
I wouldn't. I would stick right with the debt snowball. I think you're going to be done in the same time regardless of which way you do it if you follow through. But I'm going to stick with what we have used for 30 years that has worked, and that is you get those little ones paid off, you're going to get a sense of traction, you're going to get a sense of destiny. And I like the fact that you dread this bill, that you hate this bill.
He's angry at it.
That you're angry at this bill. It's going to cause you to lean in and push right on through it. So I'd leave it right there as just something to be pissed about. So it keeps you moving, I use a good, righteous kind of anger here. Nah, leave it alone, dude. Leave it alone. I appreciate that you're thinking about it, but stick with the plan. It works. I'm with George. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books.
Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us, America. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. He's also the host of the Entree Leadership podcast, as well as the Fine Print. The first season of that podcast is online and available now and anywhere you listen to great Ramsey Network's podcasts, and it's pretty incredible. Check it out. We're here to answer your questions about relationships, mental health, about your job, your career, about your money, your life. It's a free call at 888-825-5225. Nick is with us in New Haven, Connecticut. Hi, Nick. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, how are you, Dave?
Great. How can we help?
Hey, I've been watching your YouTube videos for a little while now, and I don't think I came across this question that anybody asked. I currently own a condo in New Haven, which obviously has the standard property tax, HOA fee, and all that stuff. But because the complex needs some exterior maintenance done, they've added a special assessment onto our monthly payment. So would you consider that part of the lump sum mortgage, keep it on as like the mortgage equivalent and pay it out through the 5 years that the condo association has for the loan? Or would you consider that a type of consumer debt that I should pay that in that mix as well.
How much is it?
For over the 5 years, it's about $7,000. So it's about $135 a month.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. You need to get it paid off either way. You're either going to pay it off when you pay off the condo, or you're going to pay it off as baby. It's either baby step 2 or 6, but you're going to get around to it. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
So there's not and it's probably no interest. It's probably just a straight assessment, correct?
Yeah, the interest on the loan that the condo association took out is already factored into our monthly payment.
So, I mean, if you pay it off, you don't get a break. They will let us pay it off either on the month by month, or if I get a bonus at work or something, we can pay it off individually whenever. But they're not charging you interest, so it doesn't save you anything to pay it off early.
No.
Yeah. So as far as the interest you're being charged is zero. It's a simple $7,000 divided by 5 years. Yeah. 60 months.
Yeah.
So $135 a month. Yeah. So I like the cleanliness of just getting rid of. What's your household income?
I start a new job on Monday. It'll be about 110.
Yeah. I like the cleanliness of not having it there. I don't try to I learned to quit thinking like, oh, it's no interest, so I'm going to use this money, and and instead it's just a stupid bill for me, because you're not going to get rich because of either thing you do here, okay? But getting rid of it, there's a simplification of your life, a cleanliness to your life. You make enough money. I'm probably putting into that snowball. I don't know. What are you feeling, George?
Yeah, I mean, if you're in baby step 4 and beyond, and you've got the cash, I'm going to pay it off. But if not, I'm going to just make it part of my debt payoff. It doesn't feel like consumer debt. He didn't go into debt for this. So you can look at it as a budgetary item that's on top of the mortgage. But I'm with Dave in that I'd rather not have it in my life and have the cash flow back every month if you have the cash to just get rid of it.
Yeah, it gets paid one way or another. You sell the condo, you refinance the condo someday, you pay off the condo someday, or you pay it off now.
You have to pay it regardless.
So it's going to get paid. It's not going away. So they've got special assessment's a lien on the property. So if you sell it, it'll show up in a title search. So it's going to get paid. But that's not the question. So it's just a matter of when, and it's only $7,000. If it's $70,000, I might let it lay over there at baby step 6. But it's just not that much. Lee's in Baton Rouge. Hi, Lee. How are you?
I'm doing good, Dave. How you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I'm 31 years old, married, and have 2 kids. Self-employed. The Lord's really blessed my business over the last few years. Completely debt-free. I've rented for 13 years now straight, and have moved 11 times in 13 years. So needless to say, me and my family were looking to either build or buy our first home and settle down. Of course, with me being self-employed, the job has really ramped up over the last 3 to 4 years, but it is varied because I am 100% commission. So my 2 questions that I personally had is I've got enough cash to I've got a couple $100,000 in my savings account. I have about $97,000 in a mutual funds, and about another $100,000 in personal investments that I personally invest in, take out, etc., with a $25,000 emergency fund. With looking at purchasing a home and, of course, studying my amortization schedules over the last year of looking at homes, I'm curious as to whether you would recommend the thought process of taking some of the money out of my personal investments or mutual funds and pay cash up front for the home.
Yes.
Or not touch those.
No, definitely do that. Definitely pay cash.
Okay. And so you would definitely recommend taking out, then you're saying, out of the mutual funds account to put that down towards the home.
It's not in a retirement account. It's just a mutual fund, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
What are your personal investments in?
I personal stocks where I invest, day trade on the side, a little bit of cryptocurrency, etc.
What's your household income? What are you making a year?
Well, I'm a logistics broker, and it's really increased over the last 3 years. So 2 years ago, I brought in 125,000. Last year was 325, and this year is on pace for between $500,000 to $650,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
But as the supply chain crap calms down, that income's going to calm back down. Agreed?
And that's what I wanted to preface it all. Of course, with that being the case, it's really been blessed, and I'm obviously believing the Lord to keep His hand on the business. But
I'm under no illusion you're going to make 6.25 the rest of your life.
Correct. I 100% am with you.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a mortgage payment, that changes the scenario as far as you being commissioned and worrying about what's going to happen this month.
I mean, you've been working your tail off, and you're good at what you do, so you deserve every bit of this, and I'm really happy that you're prospering this way. Way to go, dude. Touchdown. But I'm not going to be under any illusion that I'm win the Super Bowl every year.
Yeah.
I think you'll still be in the game. You're a stud. You're going to do that. But, yeah, I'm going to use this as a windfall, as if you got an inheritance or as if you got a one-time bonus or whatever, a signing bonus, whatever, something like that. I'm going to treat it like that and just pay cash for this house. And now I've got that piece of my life that is settled forever. That's very cool. Definitely paying cash, dude. Definitely paying cash. This is The Ramsey Show. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. If you're wondering whether to buy or sell a home this year, we got some answers. You can expect the market to be a lot like last year, when prices still kind of cray-cray. Interest rates are expected to go up, and what can you make of all this? Well, if you're buying a home, you might be up against some heavy competition and hefty price tags and increasing interest rates. And if you want to sell a home, chances are it's going to sell quickly, top dollar. Of course, that all depends on where you are. Every real estate market's different, but to win in any market, you really have to know what you're doing, so you need to work with someone who knows what they're doing. You have experienced real estate agents at your experienced real estate agents at your fingertips through our endorsed local provider program. As Ramsey Trusted Pros, they care about your values and keeping more money in your pocket. Check out RamseySolutions.com/agent. This is not amateur hour. It is not a time to go it alone out there. You need a pro and not a beginner. Somebody does a lot of transactions and knows their stuff in your corner. Ramsey Trusted Agents are just that. RamseySolutions.com/agent. Kathy is on the line in Buffalo, New York. Hi, Kathy. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave and George. I feel so very blessed to be able to talk to you. How are you guys doing today?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. So I'm going to try to keep my question as brief as I can. I'm a registered nurse. I've been one since 2007. I'm a single mom with no support from my son's father. I have I have been on track to get all my debt paid off, and I'm also a veteran. I was in the Army and had an injury that resulted in an increase in my disability from 10% to 70%. The amount that I got from the disability increase is I'm holding on to that so that I could pay my student loans off. In August of 2021, I was injured significantly. I shattered my elbow, and it required surgery, which then has left me with minimal use of my arm. I'm at the point now where I'm realizing that my recovery is not going as well as I thought. Had the injury not happened, I would have paid my student loans off and only been left with the debt on my house. And now I'm confronted with, do I hold on to the money or do I go ahead and pay my student loans off, keeping my $1,000 in my emergency fund?
I'm sorry. It's a tough time. It's a tough thing you've been through. And all the pain to boot. So 2 different injuries. One when you were serving and one as a nurse.
Yes.
Okay.
Unassociated with each other
Right.
at all.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What's the balance on the student loan?
Approximately $13,000.
What were you making before you got injured this time?
Well, this year was the first year that I cleared over 6 figures. My gross was around 105.
What type of nursing were you doing?
I was working at a cancer hospital in Buffalo and doing clinic work.
Okay, so you're interfacing with patients directly.
Correct.
Okay, and so the use of your elbow becomes a really big deal in that setting.
The problem that I'm having is I could probably do administrative stuff, but in order to be medically cleared to go back to the job that I have, they won't allow me to come back light duty, which means I have to be able to function in 100% capacity, including bedside nursing, and that's not something I can do.
Yeah, so you may need to change jobs, but I bet you there's some administrative type nursing that you can do with this limited mobility, can't you?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm looking at my options. There's always case managers, care coordinators, legal nurse consultants, so I'm aware of those.
Yeah.
My question really lies in the fact that I have an amount that I could pay my student loans off.
Well, here's the thing.
Afraid.
The shakier your future income is, the scarier the idea of plumping that down on the student loan is. Agreed?
Absolutely, yes.
So let's solve the future income issue and then plump it down. You need to decide what you're going to be doing next, because you're not going back to the old job.
Okay, because it does give me a bit more security mentally and emotionally.
Yeah, but I'm not going to sit there and burn through the money. I want you to go get a new job.
Right. Okay.
Now.
Okay.
So your only income?
I kind of have the feeling this is the first time you've said all this out loud, even to yourself.
Well, no, to myself, but you're
not going back there.
I've ever said it out loud to somebody else.
I know, but you're not going back there. Have you said that out loud to yourself? Because that breaks your heart a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm grieving.
Yeah.
I'm grieving that part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Not only the pain and the injury.
And I really don't want to believe.
Yeah.
I don't want to believe that this is it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's not it. It's just time for a change because the elbow's not going to do the thing that you did before, is what you told me. Now, I'm not a medical person. I was going with what you said.
No, you're correct.
Okay. Well, you're correct is what we're saying. So, yeah. But it's still, it's part of the, I mean, the injury, you got hurt, and you have the actual physical pain, but there's also the emotional pain of all this change that this forces on you. And after you've been struggling and fighting and scratching and clawing as a single mom, it's just not fair. You know, it's just, it makes me mad, and it's not even me. You know?
Yeah, I've gotten past that.
Okay, all right.
The hope is that we heal. You
got done with the pity party already. Okay.
We grieve fast.
Right. I've moved on.
Okay. Party over.
Yeah, this isn't forever, but the hope is that you heal up and we get you back to doing exactly the thing you want to do. But for now, we've got to have a new picture of what this looks like in the season as you heal, and that looks like finding that new job, getting stable, getting rid of the debt, and then we're in a whole different place.
The absolute saving grace, wonderful news of this whole conversation, and you already know this, but I'm going to say it out loud, it is that you happen to have picked a career that gives you almost infinite options. There's 1,000 different things you can do as a nurse. You know? Mm-hmm. Thank God you're not a doctor that's a specialist and can only do one thing. You know, there's 1,000
or a labor worker that needed that elbow to be able to do my job.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But there's a bunch of different things you can do with that elbow messed up that may make you as much or close. And once you land that, then plunking the money down on the student loan is a no-brainer. Agreed?
Agreed.
Yeah, but I'm with you. I'm okay to say we're in the middle of a storm, so we're going to push pause. We're not going to be lazy about this. We're going to address the issue. I mean, like you said.
No, I agree with that, and I'm just having a hard time mentally switching from I've been in gazelle intense mode to get all my debt paid off, and then all of a sudden my gazelle hit a brick wall.
Yeah, your gazelle broke its elbow.
Perfect analogy.
Yes.
So we give the gazelle a break and let him heal and let her heal, and then we restart, and you're done. We've just got to stabilize the situation to write the check is all, and then you're going to be able to do it. I cry with you. I can't imagine what you're going through. You're a warrior princess. I'm proud of you. You keep fighting it, girl. Don't let up. Don't let down. So I can tell by the way you addressed all this. You're pretty incredible. I think a year from now you're going to look back and go, well, oh well. This is the Ramsey Show.
If you're considering a career in technology, I recommend Bethel Tech, and I'm not alone. Here's what Brendan said. Before Bethel Tech, I was driving Uber. Within 4 months of graduating, I got a job paying $60,000. About 2 years after that, I got a remote job that pays me $130,000, all thanks to what I learned at Bethel Tech. You could be next. Get started today at BethelTech.net and get $1,000 to $2,500 off of your tuition. Again, it's BethelTech.net/Ken Coleman.
Personality is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Dan and Heidi are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
We're fantastic.
Good.
Cool. So you're walking around our lobby with T-shirts that say weird people.
Yes.
Yes, and we
now,
are.
In our lobby, we all understand what that means, but if you walk through the mall with those shirts on, you could get arrested.
Right.
People keep their distance.
They do. They're weird people. They wear T-shirts. They're proud of it. I like it. All right. So how much debt have you guys paid off?
$194,834.
Love it. How long did this take?
27 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
We started out around $150,000 and ended about $200,000.
Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm in sales.
I do accounts payable and receivable for a local school district.
Ah, wonderful. So what kind of debt was this $195,000?
Actually, it was all real estate, Dave. We had 3 homes. We had been out of debt other than the real estate for a couple years, and we took financial peace at our church, and that got Heidi all fired up. She's like, we need to pay these mortgages off.
Whoa. Go, Heidi.
Yes.
Go, Heidi, go.
Wow. So that's what we did. And we.
So there were 3 mortgages on 3
There was
properties?
actually 4 mortgages.
Four
we
mortgages.
sold one of the houses, which that was kind of the hardest thing for me to do because I had bought this house years ago, and it was a retirement plan. I listened to the real estate, and I wanted to do that kind of a retirement. And so when we decided in the class to sell that was
How
kind
much
of
did that house bring?
We sold it for about 100, and I think
Yeah.
we owed about 25,
20, yeah.
25.
Okay, so 75 of the 195 chunk with that. The rest of it, you cash flow out?
Yes.
Okay, so you knocked them out, and that's your house and everything.
House and everything.
So it's official. You're weird people.
Yes.
We are weird. All right. So what's your home worth?
Probably about $250,000.
Cool. And what's the other real estate worth?
Probably, what we decide, about $250,000 probably between the other 2 homes.
Yes.
Somewhere in that range.
So about $500,000 in paid for real estate.
Right.
Very nice. Very nice. So how much do you have in investments in your retirement and that kind of stuff?
Before or after the new administration?
I guess I'm asking about today.
No, we have about $500,000.
Okay.
About $500,000.
So your baby steps millionaires.
We are.
Almost.
You did
Yes.
it.
We're close.
We're very
All
close.
right. Yay! Way to go, you guys.
Thank you.
Proud of you. Well done. Okay, so the church is teaching Financial Peace University. You guys go in there, and Heidi goes, you're the salesman, I'm the numbers person, we're paying off these houses.
I said, I'm all in. You're coming with me.
Go sell something.
I'm in, and you're coming with me.
That's right.
That's what I told Sharon. We've been married 40 years. I said, if you leave, I'm going with you. So.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. Way to go, you guys.
Thank you.
Okay,
Excited.
now that busts into everything the culture tells you not to do. You're perpendicular. That's why we call it weird people. And that's why weird people around here is a compliment, because normal's broke and in debt, and you're not either. You're millionaires with paid-for real estate, paid-for home. And so you bucked right against the culture. How did that feel when you first started doing it?
It was different. Go ahead.
Well, to me, it was a little bit more on my normal side just because I'm the budgeter. I'm the one that says we should spend this amount of money. And Dan was like, no, I've been single for a lot of years and I can spend whatever I want because it was only me. But now I said, now it's the both of us.
Yeah. If you'll look beside you, you will notice it's not only
Right,
you.
yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Good.
Wow.
Good. How long y'all been married?
10 years in January.
Okay. All right, good. So now that you did it, now that you busted through it, the tough 27 months, got rid of that property, made you cry a little bit when that one went away, and but now you're free. How's it feel?
Awesome.
Great.
So,
Such a weight lifted off.
So it's worth it?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, every bit of it. Every bit.
Nowhere to go but from here. But I mean, you're baby step 7. You're just going to pile up money now.
You guys going to buy more property, you think?
We're looking about a beach house, maybe.
He's got a shell in his pocket.
A shell in his pocket.
Like a magic trick.
And that shell did not come from Nashville, I'm just saying.
I think he's been dreaming. He has been dreaming.
Yeah, he's carrying that around. This is a thing right here.
Yeah.
Good for you. I think you
cool.
should. That's a good idea. Very well done. Well, you need to have a goal. You need to have things you're aiming at, and your enjoyment of the money, your outrageous generosity. These are the things that make all of this worthwhile. And you're on track to do all of that. So way to go. All right, now people are listening, and they say, "All right, how did you do this? What do you say the key is to getting out of debt?"
Mine's pretty simple. Spend more money or spend less money than what you're making. That's a big. It's simple, but that's the deal.
Yeah. Mine is stick to the budget that we set up. Or that I set up, and he would make one or two changes, and then I'd say, "Oh, you got to stick to it." So.
Yeah. And I did.
You can change it, but now you're locked in,
right,
baby.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the trick to get them locked in. Yeah, that's good. Very good. Well, way to go, you guys. Way to
now
go.
it's habitual. We have the app, and we just every time we spend $2 on a soda,
It goes in
there.
goes in the every dollar app, and then we know where it's going.
Heidi's watching.
Yes, she is.
Nothing's slipping by her.
I like it. Hey, you got to have a plan, and this is it, man. So it's a system now, and those of us that are salespeople, we have a tremendous ability to earn money. But almost all, and I'm one, almost all of us that have that zest, that ability to go make money selling, also have, that goes with that, we have this mistaken idea that we can out-earn our stupidity. And so you need a Heidi in there going, no, here's the plan, stay on the plan, now you're locked on the plan, we're staying on the plan. And I had to do that to myself and Sharon with me, of course, years and years and years ago. But I realized that that's what I was doing. I was trying to out-earn my stupidity.
Yeah. I did the same thing. When we got married, I was going to run the checkbook, pay the bills. I'm the man of the house. That's what he does. And but what I would do was if it was $12.85, it was $13 in the checkbook. I just round up, then I wouldn't have to worry about balancing. I always knew I had more money in there than what it said. And she really didn't go for that.
Heidi's shaking her head.
That's not how you do it, Dan. That's not how you do it.
So she took
Heidi's
over
going,
Yeah,
great.
I'm like, you got to balance to the penny.
Yep. So it works for us. She pays the bills and does the checkbook.
Well, way to go, you guys. We're very, very proud of you. Congratulations. We got a copy of the Baby Steps Millionaire book for you. Since you've hit that milestone, you can enjoy that. You should be in there. And you're yet another person, another couple that has pulled that off. And also a copy of Total Money Makeover for you to give away to someone. Tell folks out there, I mean, you've been married 10 years. You guys are how old?
56.
56.
Okay. So it's not too late. You can do this. In the last 10 years, you guys have completely revolutionized your lives. And in the last 27 months, you have for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yep. You can do it. You can do it whenever.
Right.
Exactly.
Because a lot of the folks come on this show are 30 years old or 27 years old or whatever. But, we had a lady on here the other day that was 70-something that did her debt-free scream. And so, it's just math.
Right.
And it works when you're 70, and it works when you're 27. And so you can just do this, and you guys did it. I'm so proud of y'all. Well done.
Thank you.
Very, very, very well done. All right, it's Dan and Heidi from Ohio. $195,000 paid off in 27 months, making $150 to $200, 100% debt-free, house, rentals, everything. They are weird people, and Baby Steps millionaires to boot. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! This is how it's done.
Man, nothing beats the sound of freedom. I'll tell you that.
Well, they are a true example of the two ends, the nerd and the free spirit, that love each other so much that they decide to work together to accomplish goals together. And they gave up, each of them gave up pieces of things to get to where they were going. That's beautiful sacrifice. Yeah. Well done. Very well done. Over $14 million paid off in debt-free screams so far this year.
Wow.
Wow. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Proverbs 27:17, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Louisa May Alcott said, it takes two flints to make a fire. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and about your money. Carmen is with us in Los Angeles. Hi, Carmen. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I'll try to keep it short, but I got married about a month ago. I have no debt. I've been following you for years, no debt, and I have a house. And my husband, he's new to Ramsey. He's got a house, and he's got some debt. So I moved into his house. I'm going to be selling my house. So with that, the proceeds from the house, do I put that towards his mortgage, or do I pay off his debts? That's where I'm kind of wondering what to do.
Yeah, what kind of debt does he have outside of the mortgage?
Outside of the mortgage, it's about $80,000. He's got some credit cards. He's got a trailer, a UTV, and solar.
Okay. Well, that kind of debt would fall into baby step 2 in our plan, and the house would fall into baby step 6. So we're going to pay off that $80,000 first. But my bigger concern is he on the same page financially? Does he want to stay out of debt once you guys are out of debt?
Yeah, we're trying to do the baby steps to get out of debt and stay out of debt.
Okay. I just want to make sure he's on the same page. Have you guys gone through something like Financial Peace University? What's his knowledge of our plan?
He doesn't really have much knowledge about the Ramsey plan, so I've, kind of been telling him about it, and, I watch you and I listen to you. But he's sort of new to this whole thing, budgeting and stuff, so I'm going to be, doing the budget on every dollar.
I just don't want you doing this solo.
Try to do that.
And he goes, well, I'll do whatever, but you're going to be doing it. This has to be a team effort. So I'll give you it as a wedding gift.
This all works real good till he wants a new truck.
I'm sorry?
I said this all works real good till he wants a new truck.
Yeah, well, he's got our cars are paid off. He's got a Mustang.
You missed my point.
Off, and he's got.
You missed my point.
Yeah, I get it now.
Yeah, when he decides, when it's no longer convenient for him to go along with this idea, it's not his idea anymore. That's when this is all going to turn into a bad plan. So I'm not trying to beat him up, and George isn't either. That's not the point. He just does not know what the three of us are talking about. But I really want some emotional, relational commitment and buy-in from him based on knowledge, not based on he's just doing what his new wife wants him to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If I'm you, I want that, and that's your safety, because here's the problem. If you take the money from your life and you use it to pay off his mess, and he wants to go back into a mess, you're going to be like triple pissed off.
Right. That's why I was wondering if I should just use it to pay down the mortgage.
No, it's his mortgage too.
Okay.
Same mess.
Yeah.
Same guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the deal is, you guys, what I want you to do is invest some time in the two of you. Let me just give you a wedding gift. Go through Financial Peace University. I'll give you Ramsey Plus, and that's every dollar and everything built in. And the two of you go through that, and before you do anything with this money, the two of you need to look at each other and be completely down to your soul aligned on this, because you've got a real clear picture of what this is, and we're all just kind of hoping he's going to come along. And all of our concern here is not really about your husband. It's about all the other times we've heard this story 5 years later, and it didn't turn out well.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get alignment. So I think it's an opportunity relationally for you all to get alignment, and that's what George was bouncing around.
Yeah, what happens is when you leapfrog the baby steps, which is fantastic that you get to do this with your financial situation, there's no sacrifice. And when there's no sacrifice, there's no true behavior change. And I'm not saying that he's not willing to change. I just need some proof before we go do this nice thing, and then he's back in debt 3 months from now.
Or aggravating you because he wants to, and now you're the nagging new wife rather than because we weren't aligned on this is how we're going to live our lives.
Yeah.
So hang on, I'll have Kelly pick up. We'll get you signed up as a wedding gift. You guys go through Financial Peace University before you start writing these checks. In the meantime, just put that money in an account. And also, by the way, you need to get the situation changed with his house, that it becomes our house with your name on it, and there needs to be wills done on both sides, that house is yours upon his death.
And accounts are combined.
You don't pay off his house and he leaves it to his kids from the first marriage or something like that. No, thank you. Or his mother or whatever. I don't care. Because it was his house until you pay a bunch down on the mortgage, and then all of a sudden it's not his house anymore. It's our house. So we need to get that. Lots of clarification there. Real clarity. You do all that, then this is a very safe and good thing to do with the money. Michael is with us in Austin, Texas. Hey, Michael, how are you?
Hey, Dave, I'm doing good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, I have a question for you. I have a rental property that I'm looking at selling due to the current market value increases. And with that money from selling the rental property, I'd be able to pay my house off.
Yay.
But I am a business owner. And with the current supply chain dilemmas that we're having, I'm thinking that I may need that cash to invest it back into the business here in the future.
Why?
So do I pay the house off?
No, why? What's wrong with your business?
Well, just supply chain, needing it potentially for overhead or something like that. Nothing's wrong with the business. It's just...
Well, something's wrong with it if you have to feed it.
That's true.
Okay. So what? I mean, why would you run out of business? Why would the supply chain shut you down?
Because so we're in roofing, and roofing materials are not readily available.
Okay, so you're having trouble getting shingles
Correct.
and so forth. Okay,
correct.
All right.
Correct.
All right. So this is not investing into your business. This is causing your business just to stay open.
Correct.
So,
yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, are you making payroll? Are you staying open? Or is everything okay so far?
Yep.
Okay.
But it's just the unknown, right?
Yeah, it's petroleum based. Is it? I mean, shingles are still petroleum based, aren't they?
Correct.
Yeah, which really screws us up. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any retained earnings or savings for the business?
Yes. Yeah.
How much?
About 5-6 months worth.
How much shortage are you anticipating?
We are anticipating this to continue into 2023.
Yeah, but this being, are you completely shut down? You can't get it at all, or you're getting limited amounts?
It's delays. Yeah, it's just the delays. So we're forecasting everything, we're watching everything, and we're monitoring it. We're on top of it. It's just the unknowns. Will I need? I mean, as a business investor, will I need the cash to put it into the company at some point?
What's gross revs at the company now?
About $9 million.
Okay. And what's the house selling for?
House will sell for about $550, and still owe about $240 on it.
Okay, so we're discussing $250,000 keeping a $9 million operation open. If you're off by $250,000, you're screwed. You're not going to make it anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
It's $250 isn't going to take you out. 2.5, 3.5 may take you out.
Yeah, correct.
So this isn't going to save you anyway.
Okay.
So I'm paying off my house for sure, and then I'm going to just start making the radical adjustments in the business. And so, you're being very wise to operate this the way you are. But I'm piling up every dollar of income you get in the business right now. Especially once your house is paid off, we're going to just be in emergency mode and build retained earnings so that you build your own internal line of credit, where you just have a huge freaking pile of cash to weather the storm. Because the problem with it is you've not just got normal supply chain stuff. Now you got a petroleum-based product in an oil crisis on top of it. So, ouch. That's what I was afraid I was hearing. Okay. Good luck with it, brother. You can do it. I think you're sharp enough to turn it. You're going to be all right, but be careful. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's Rachel Cruz, co-host on The Ramsey Show. If you want to do your debt-free scream live on the show, visit RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream. We'd love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story. That's RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream.